Beatles 69, and today I'm going to talk about the Beatles 1962 to 1966 and the 1967-1970 compilation albums. I got three different pressings of them, and I'd like to share them. The first one, the German pressing of the Red Album. Got this at a flea market in fairly good shape, and on the back it's got the Electrola, which was probably the German distribution. EMI Electrola, yeah. The German copies, at least this one, didn't come with the lyrics. It just came with a plain album sleeve. Excuse me. When I got this album, it was in pretty good shape, no scratches on it. Plays very well. And got this side 3 and side 4. And the German pressing of the 1967 through 1970 on Apple. Actually, when I bought both these together, the guy was selling them. Excuse me. And again, plain sleeve. I want to say there was a difference in the German pressing and in the U.S. or UK pressing on the first album. The first album, it's got 7 tracks listed, but the difference is, when they cut the record, they took Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, and with a little help from my friends, and actually made, when they cut the album, they cut it as one track, not separated, no separation of any kind. It was one track. Although they got 7 listed on the label, it's one track. It was cut into the vinyl, which was interesting. And of course, these are gatefolds, but I got plastic sleeves, so I just didn't have to pull them out. The next one, U.S. copy. I bought this one in the Blue album back in the 80s, back when I was a teenager. And what's interesting about the U.S. copy is in the gatefold on the side of the picture, it says copyright 1973 Apple Records on the picture border, but the actual Apple releases don't say that. It's seen better days, but Capital. It's 80s pressing. You notice how the runoff groove is so long from here to here. I don't know if the Apple pressing in the U.S. was like that, but the German pressing and I also have the UK pressing weren't like that. And likewise on the Blue album. It says copyright 1973 Apple Records. Though it's on Capitol. 1980 pressing. Oh. I got this at a flea market, and it was like this when I bought it. Screwed up. And actually, I don't know what pressing this is. It's probably the 70s. But yeah, you can see how the cover's all screwed up. And like something got stuck to it. Pretty much destroyed. But the only reason why he wasted the few dollars I did on it to buy it is because it was on the blue vinyl. And that's really the only thing I cared about at the time. But the vinyl's in excellent shape. Came with the lyric sleeves. But it's whoever had it just totally just didn't care about it. But like I said, it was on the blue vinyl, on the Capitol blue vinyl. So I decided, why not go ahead and get it just because. But I think this would be a 1970s pressing, probably late 70s. And also notice the Capitol logo right here is different than the. It's different than the 80s, where the Capitol was different logo. And that one there, you can hardly see it, but it does say copyright 1973 Apple Records on that one. And finally, last but not least, UK pressings. I wanted to point something out, and I'm going to just show you these to make a comparison. Okay, this is the US pressing. You see how the border looks on the top. UK pressing, like the border might be a little bit wider here at the top. It's on Apple and it's labeled Made in England. And lyric sleeve, both sides. But the album comes out of the top. And we have a red vinyl pressing. UK pressing, red vinyl. I want to point out, notice the runoff groove is all the way close to the label. Unlike the American pressing that I showed you, it had a long runoff groove. This is real close to the middle of the record. This is really pretty. I wish that they had issued these records standard in the world on colored vinyl, being just red and blue. It would have been nice. This one and the German pressing don't have the James Bond theme right before the song Help. Yeah, it's just the Help song starts abruptly. Really pretty vinyl. Really awesome. Okay. British pressing, 1967 and 1970 on Apple Records. And unlike the US counterpart, see how narrow the border is at the top. See how wide the border is on the UK pressing at the top. And this little gem, it's on blue vinyl. Pretty blue vinyl. And I want to say that the UK pressing, they separated Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band with "Little Help My Friends" on the groove, unlike the German where they just made both of them just one track. Okay, on this pressing, it says all songs are produced by George Martin and Phil Spector. You don't see that on the US pressing. On the gatefold anyway. And here's the blue, just for you. Pretty album. Pretty album. And that's my red and blue compilation albums. I hope you enjoyed it. Been a while since I put an album out. Been really busy. I appreciate you watching. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to my channel. If you have subscribed, I really appreciate it. And I will have more upcoming videos, so stay tuned for that.